Hello there, this is Abhijit here. Okay, so what I am going to talk about today is very interesting topic, and it's very fascinating that not much of the DevOps engineers use in their day-to-day life cycle. So today, I am going to talk about something known as Docker context. So it's one of the commands that given in Docker, which you can use in your local machine to connect to a remote server with your own Docker CLI. Like, let me tell you how it works. Is suppose like this is your local machine. You have an Docker install, like Docker CLI is here, and Docker API is also here. So this is Docker CLI, and this is Docker API. So normally when you given commands like docker this thing, docker create container, docker run, docker um, build image for something, to build the images, create containers, remove containers, you use docker CLI, and the docker CLI then sends to the request to the docker API in their local machine itself, and then the docker containers are getting created, docker images are getting built or something like that, or then you can like remove images and everything. This is the normal use cases of the uh, normal use case of docker. So how does docker context come in the picture? Is suppose you have another another remote machine. Sorry, I didn't want to say local. So another remote machine, and you have docker installed there also, like docker CLI is also there, docker API is also there, same things like normal docker is there. Then what you will do normally is like, if you want to like connect to this server, like you have to get the images and containers located on this machine, like the remote machine, uh, like this is a remote machine, and you want like you want to like connect to this machine. So in the normal use case you would use like SSH, correct? This is the only viable options, like going to this like machine through the SSH port 22. Like you give you use a user and the IP address, and then give one password to connect to the SSH, or you have a PEM key, then you just go to that SSH, normal SSH, and then running the commands through the Docker CLI, and then that's all. But imagine a scenario like you have a multiple number of this remote machines, like there are around 5 or 6 remote machines. You can't go in every machine to SSH in like every machine separately to run some Docker commands in your day-to-day life. Then how can you do it from a single machine, your local machine itself, and make it a uh, easy way to like communicate to the other remote machines? That's when Docker context comes to use. Like with the help of Docker context, you can like create multiple number of context on your local machines itself, and just by using those one of the context that you have configured, you can connect to those remote machines Docker API itself, and directly from your local machine, if you give any commands, you can just use those Docker API to run those commands itself. We will I know it's not a bit that confusing. Let's go to the terminal and I will show you like how it's done. So let's go to it a bit. Okay, so I have an Raspberry Pi with me, which is connected to my local network. So let's just go and SSH into it. 40. Okay, so this is my Raspberry Pi. Let's see Docker is installed on it or not. Okay, Docker is also installed. As you can see, there is no Docker images or anything. Okay, let's exit the Raspberry Pi. We don't need it right now. Okay, so what I was talking about is Docker context right here. So like for this we have to use like an SSH key. We can also use a password, but like I'm getting some error, so I cannot showcase you that. But we have to use like an SSH key for it. So I will need to generate one SSH key. So let's generate it. SSH key gen. Enter. So copy, paste. So let's give it a name, something like Raspberry Taco or something like that. No paraphrase, I don't want to do that. Okay, so now let's just copy it to the Raspberry Pi dot public key, right? Huh. Oh, I need to put hyphen I, right? Okay, that's what I was missing. That I was like, what is happening? Abhijit at the rate 29.40. So we have done it. Let's put our password right here. Okay, alright, so we can just do SSH now with the key hyphen I. Let's try it. Oh, SSH hyphen I using this. Point 168.29.40. Okay, we can do SSH now, right? Instead of that, let me just make it easy for myself, saying SSH hyphen added, and let's try add this thing to our identities. Oh, sorry. Okay. Oh, wait, I did. Okay, okay, that's fine. Okay, so with I think I can now SSH into this without password. That's great. Okay, so now let's create a context. So let's check what I have on my local machine. So I have two app Node.js app images and anything running. So I don't think I have anything running right here. Okay, that's fine. So let's create a context right now. Give it some name like Raspberry, and let's give Docker and double colon. We have to give host is equal to, now I'm doing it via SSH slash Abhijit. That let's give my username, server name I mean, and IP 29.40. Wait, this thing. Oh, my bad. So it's Docker context create Raspberry Docker, this thing. Unable to create press paraphrase. Why? endpoint unable to apply Docker endpoint unable to context create host as such. Oh, there's the issue, like I didn't use the colon. So let's clear the screen and let's do Docker context ls. So as you can see, like this is my AWS server Ubuntu, which is on AWS of course, and this is my default configuration which is running right now, right here, right on my local machine, and this is the Raspberry right now we created. So let's use this Docker context use Raspberry. Okay, so now we are connected to the Docker API that is on our Raspberry Pi, on the Raspberry Pi. So what we can do is, to test this, let's just use Docker commands. Like I can give one thing, let's check. So I had like 2 images, right? So now I don't have any images on my Raspberry Pi as of now. So what we can do is docker pull nginx for now. Now it's running on my Raspberry Pi. So let's wait for this to get pulled. So I am on my local machine right here, and I am doing this everything on my Raspberry Pi using Docker context. Okay, so we have pulled the image. Now let's run it. Docker run -d -p. Let's give it port 80 space 80 colon 80 nginx latest. Oh, I guess I am running nginx or something like that on this port. So let's just change the port to something like 82, I guess, or 8080 8000. Alright, so we are running something on we are running on 8000. So let's check 192.168. This thing 29 point 40 port 8000. So as you can see, we are running nginx on this. So let's check one more thing. Let's SSH into the machine. Okay, so we are now on our Raspberry Pi Docker ps. So as you can see, like right now it's running. So it's created for some reason 7 weeks ago, but yeah, so that's how it works. So that's one thing. So now we can do one more thing. Like I want to show you one more thing if it's possible. I don't know. Docker export. So using Docker export, we can like create a tar file of it. For example, Raspberry, I can give an -o, can give like a name to it, rasp.tar. -o. Okay, so we have created like a Docker context file. So if we cat that context file, it will give you this thing only. But basically, we can now just import it from wherever we want. Like if you like give the star file to someone else, then we can just do that thing. But it will of course use one this thing. Uh, it will of course need that thing. So that's it from my side. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.